Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome. If you're my repeat subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video, we're going to be covering the future of the elections, the 2024 election, Donald Trump's future, Kamala Harris's future, and America. This might be able to give us a more of a clear and concise understanding about what to expect in the coming months and weeks ahead. And let's even see what might even show up here. I just woke up. So that's why I look the way I do. But if you're always wondering why I'm wearing red now, red is a good color, especially for those of you guys who do not know how to ground yourself or how to stay calm and at peace. Red is a good color. It symbolizes your root chakra, which is all about grounding. So even if you don't have to be someone special to know exactly what to do and how to clear out your energies and chakras like that, you can just wear the color red and just imagine yourself in the emotion of the color red in a state of calmness. Now, if you're in a state of anger, I did receive a message for you guys. If you are wearing red but you're angry when you see the color red, they advised me to tell you to wear pink. So pink is also another good color to use to be able to, in terms of grounding, because it symbolizes your crown chakra, which is the part, which is the chakra that represents all of you, and then the root chakra, which represents your grounding, your sexuality, who you are as an individual. Your first chakra is the thing that represents you. So wearing red or even pink will be the best way to kind of get through the next couple of weeks and months. So you will be seeing me wearing a lot of red, a lot of pink, because it allows me to be able to step aside from the emotional aspect of what has happened and to allow me to be able to be hyper focused on reading and be able to make sure that I'm clear and concise. Anyway, this video is being recorded on November 9, 2024 at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the dot. So there's that. Anyway, this video is just for entertainment purposes only and for educational purposes only as well. So I just want to say thank you all for those of you guys who have watched my previous video and have left comments. I greatly appreciate all of them. I do see a lot of you guys are still commenting. So I will get back to you as soon as possible once I finish up work today. But thank you all. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, a like, and subscribe. And let me know in the comment section below what you think of this video or what you get and what other people are seeing. I'm really curious to see. I know some of you guys have been emailing me, and I have gotten back to your email. So without further ado, let's begin. So I'm kind of going into this kind of like blind, but I kind of had an idea, like a concept in my head about what I want to do in terms of spread. I sometimes, like a lot of you guys who are new here, I like to do it kind of based on my intuition. I don't follow the status quo. I don't follow the rules of tarot. I just follow what my intuition is, and I just read. Really, I just read. That's really all I do, and I just tell a story. I'm pretty good storyteller, not going to lie. But anyway, let's begin. So let's do the 2024 election and the past and future. So we'll do the past, present, future. And then after that, if you watch my previous video, I did the what we see out in the open. So I'll kind of show here what we see in the open here, and then what we don't see behind the scene. And I really like that methodology here because I feel like it's very important for this specific type of video. Because in order for us to really grasp what is currently going on and the understanding of the story within itself, we need to be able to discern what we're seeing from the open and what we're allowed to see and what we're seeing from behind the scene to kind of be able to bring forth the picture more clearly to kind of get a proper understanding about what to expect over the next couple of weeks and months. So let's do it. So Spirit Angels tell me for the future of the 2024 election, since it already happened, but it's still currently ongoing, what is to be expected of the 2024 presidential election? Give me the past, present, future. Okay, tell me to flip the card. What is the future? Okay, we love that when they give me the cards for me. Okay, so the past here, we have strength. It showed me here, really right away, it showed weakness. There was no type of strength that was being shown in this election. So now, there's a woman in this picture, but I'm not seeing women as like a factor for the weakness. I feel like there are women out there who did actively vote against their best interests. And I do see that there. But that is not the kicker. that is not the kicker. I'm sensing that this is not only my MAGA card, this is not only my, this is Trump and this is his followers or stuff like that. It's the reverse, and that's in the past. So what I'm wondering here, because there's two aspects to this card. It could be indicating that women went out and voted against their interests, ended up hurting them in the election. But it also is telling me here that there's some sort of disconnect between Trump and his voters. It feels like, in a way, they didn't vote, if that makes sense. It almost feels like they just didn't turn out because they listened to some of the rhetoric that he's putting out. You don't need to vote, you have enough votes, stuff like that. They didn't go out and vote. And it feels like in theory here, it feels like there's a lack of strength in numbers for both candidates, really. Just lack of strength of numbers is what I'm seeing. Now, the central card here with the current president in the 2024 presidential election, we have the Page of Cups. And the Page of Cups is normally indicating the young energy, looking ahead, looking toward the future, kind of like very symbolic of Barack Obama's win back in 2008. He was a center of hope, charisma, going forward, looking ahead, not looking from the past. This is telling me here that there is a looking forward, there is a look to the past. Now, remember how I said that there was a lack in numbers, right? There was a lack in numbers. I don't know why. I just seen the word lack in numbers. But then this indicated here, looking to the past, because Barack Obama meant looking to the future. This, however, is telling me look to the past. And the past in this context is the 2024 presidential election. So I wonder if this is an indication that there's going to be something that's going on, that there's going to be a look back into the past of the 2024 presidential election and see what happened. Because we have here in the future card here, we have, well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 of swords. That caught me by surprise. I don't know why I was surprised. We all knew this coming up, but the fact that he just showed up on his own is kind of a little bit astonishing. But it does a look back to the past. So if there's a look back to the past and this 7 of swords, it's clearly indicating something being taken away, then this card will come up. Because in the past here, we have these houses or tents. But there's 2 stores that he had to so go and get. And what is this telling me here? It's telling me, he thought he covered all his bases, right? They thought he covered his bases. But he didn't cover 2 bases. And what it is telling me here, there is something that is going to be found, if any, if they pursue the investigation. Which it looks as of right now, the Page of Cups is telling me they're looking back to the past, telling me there's some sort of investigation that is going to happen or is currently going to be ongoing. And the 2 of swords here is telling me here that there is missteps, or maybe they were so fixated on the 2020 election, finding loopholes and trying to close those loopholes, or trying to install people in power that would be able to prevent an obstacle to making sure that this was a success. It's telling me here that there's 2 other obstacles in the way of walking away with this freely. And I feel like there's 2 people or 2 things that they miss that that they didn't account for, if that makes sense. But the next card here is the Knight of Cups. Now, this is my Biden card, right? The Biden card. And there was a reason why this card came up for Biden. Because I think I said, do not quote me on this, but I'm hearing this now. I don't know if I said it then, but I'm going to say it now. That Biden was considered a transitional president. He was not supposed to be a president to win 2 terms. He was a president in between 2 major iconic, is the word to use here, the iconic presidents, right? Donald Trump was the iconic representation of what's worse for America, and Biden is the transitional candidate, the calm candidate before the storm, and then the next one is the iconic what is best for America. And so we have the Knight of Cups here walking away. So it almost feels like when you look at these 2 cards here, I'll try to move these cards over so you can kind of see the way I'm looking at it. You have this guy looking to the back, right? He's looking. Let me see if I can show you here. Oops, wrong way. There you go. So this is how it looked on my table. Oops. Okay, so you see this guy here, he's looking with his head, looking at the knight. And this knight is just walking on forward, holding this cup to victory. It almost feels like You ever heard of the story with the turtle and the hare? And the hare was so fixated on running to the finish line that it decided, oh, I'm so far ahead. Let me go take a nap at the tree. And the turtle just keep trotting along, trotting along, trotting along, made it to the finish line because it didn't give up to rest because it kept the same pace throughout the duration. It almost feels like to me that Donald Trump won and instead enough said. I'm tired. I'm done. He like almost like he gave up is what it feels like. And this card here, them looking back, it almost feels like they're trying to always check up on this individual while this individual is walking away, and they're scared because they're looking behind them constantly. They're thinking that they're going to get caught because what's behind them are the two stories, and those two stories are the things that they've left behind that they could possibly be exploited to be found out what really happened. This card here is telling me here that there's still a walkaway. There's a potentiality here of a new president being inaugurated. That there's a potentiality of the truth coming forward because you have this guy walking away from this guy, which tells me that maybe possibly instead of there being 7 of swords, there might have been a 7 of swords and 1 cup, which is not an actual card in the tarot deck, but it is telling me here that this cup pertained in this scenery, was this telling me that they picked up enough evidence to bring forward. The question is, do the Democrats have the spine to do anything about it? That's a question to be remained. Now, the next card. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense. We have Biden and the presidency. Remember how a lot of us have been saying, and I've said before, that it feels like the person who wins on election day is not the person who becomes president? I still hold very much to that truth. And here is why. So when you look underneath the cards here, and this is the spread, you have the ceiling of the election, or the attempt to, but well, we all know how that went. But this is just again just for entertainment purposes only. And you have here the Knight of Cups walking away with the truth, possibly having a new president here. Underneath this card, which is all about taking away or falsifying the results, and you have the Five of Swords here. I mean, excuse me, the Five of Wands, which is constant fighting. These are two negative cards going up against each other. This is what we see in the open. This is what we've seen in and behind the scenes, kind of thing. And so when you're looking at this perspective here, it looks like to me that this is what happened. This is what we saw. This is what's going behind the scene. Enough evidence is being collected for a proper investigation. And this under here, people are upset because of the revelation that comes out about what happened and new possibility of a new president. So people are riled up on both sides. Doesn't matter what side. People are upset because they feel like they were fooled. Because people are upset because, well, oh, you stole my president, and then they feel like the election was stolen from them. And so like this whole, but it's like bananas. It's like a banana republic, as Trump puts it. That's exactly how it feels. It feels like sheer chaos, but it feels not like anger chaos. It feels like, and I'm seeing this very vividly here. You go into Chuck E. Cheese, they had the ball pit back in the old days. They had like the ball and everything like that. It feels like a lot of kids want to go in that ball pit. And like when you get in there, you can't stand because like there's so many balls you kind of can't see. You don't duck your head because there's bacteria and you get sick from it. But besides the point, that wasn't really necessary to add. But what it is telling me here is telling me that there's like some sort of fighting in the ball pit. I don't know if that means literal or that means metaphorically speaking, but it does tell me that there is some idea here and understanding that, wait, hold on. And they just can't wrap their head around it because the ball symbolizes going around in a circle, but there is no edge to the circle. Therefore, it just goes around and loop and loop and loop and loop, and they can't get it in their head. They can't focus. They can't understand it. They just can't. And I feel like a lot of them can't have the processing power to understand what the hell happened. Now, that was a lot of information, so I do apologize for that. And I'm just channeling from here. So I do my tarot card readings, but I also do channel at the same time. Underneath the Knight of Cups here, this is my presidency card. The presidency card is the Star card, right? And the Star card is indicated in the presidency under the Knight of Cups. I feel like something is going to be released about this that leads to the information being revealed and an investigation that happens. And because of this investigation, this is what we see in the out in the open, and then a new president um, elected or sworn in. Now, I say that very loosely because I feel like the word elected means election day, right? The word that I want to use is it sworn in because they have to be sworn in. I feel like the word election and elected or president elect, I feel like that word does not apply for some reason. For some reason, it just doesn't apply to who this new president is. It almost doesn't feel like they're president elect. It feels like they're sworn in. So I wonder if maybe what happened is we don't find out until after January 20th. Because in order for the president elect to take place, it has to have been prior to January 20th. I wonder if all this that's going on is taking place a little bit after January 20th when the president is sworn in. So I wonder if that's what is being shown here. I don't even know what to think. Like my brain is still processing this, but you know what? Let's go on. We're gonna do the Trump future. Okay, so now we're gonna do the future of Donald Trump. Okay, so I have a couple decks here. We have the American Eclipse. I feel like that is the true representation of the United States, and particularly it relates to Donald Trump because he is that eclipse, that darkness that goes over the sun, over the light. And so I feel like the best way to really gauge what he's doing is we are just going to use both decks. We need the right away, and we're going to use that deck. Now, this deck is very difficult to use because apparently it feels very slippery, which is kind of weird. All right, so Spirit Angel Tommy, show me Trump future over the next couple of months, or just future in general, for President-elect Donald Trump. What's the next couple of weeks and months looking like for Donald Trump until, like, I say February? Ooh, okay. All right, so how do I do this? Is this the first card or is the last card? Okay, they told me last card. So here is, I'm gonna actually try to move this back so you can see. So I feel like, you know, we are in the month of November here. So I like how they gave me 4 cards, you know. Okay, so we have November, December, January, February. Oh my God, I love them. Okay, anyway. So same thing, Spirit Angel. So this is what we see in the open. What are we seeing behind the scenes for Donald Trump? What is his future behind the scenes? Okay, so they just told me this is behind the scenes. So I guess this would be behind the scenes. And for those of you guys who are new, I do hear from I do hear from my right ear. I'm deaf in this ear, like completely deaf. That's why I wear cochlear. But I speak to my guys through that side because I can hear them. For some reason, I have that ability where I'm able to hear the spiritual world. So I'm able to have like a direct connection line to them, which is kind of cool. But anyway, besides the point. So Spirit Angel, tell me, what are we seeing in the open for Donald Trump's future from now until February? What is Donald Trump's future, President-elect Donald Trump? Or even if he is President-elect, what is Donald Trump's future looking like? Okay, I love them. Okay, I love how they give me 4 cards. Listen. Okay, so Spirit Angel, tell me, is it the top of the card or bottom of the card? Is it the top? Okay. Now, for those of you guys, I just felt like I needed to tell you this, and I will repeat this. This has been repeated on my channel many times. I did channeling back in the old days. I probably say about 2 years now. I did channeling, and I saw that Donald Trump's highest death date in terms of dying or something happening to him was from the 2024 Republican nomination, literally right after the nomination, until May of 2025. May 25th, 2025. So just keep that date in mind. Anything can happen from then until now, you know, until May of next year. Now, the reason why that's so important is because literally right after the nomination, there was an attempt on his life. And that's why I was so shocked because I was like, oh, I was in the channeling, but he didn't die because you don't want to wish harm on anybody. But it was interesting to see because it will be repetitive. It doesn't mean that that same situation is going to happen, but he's going to be struggling when it comes to health over the next couple of years, especially this year going into next year. Okay, so spirits and angels, tell me. Let's do this. Okay, so again, guys, what we see in the open, what we see behind the scenes. Okay, so this is the month of November. So let's do the month of November first. Let's see. Okay. Okay, so we have here the King of Cups. So this is what's in the open. This is what's behind the scenes. So it feels like to me, because a lot of you guys, I've said this before, this is the King of Cups. And the King of Cups is my Biden card. This is the card that showed President Biden's administration, the Democratic Party, right? This card is reversed. It's an end of an era, right? And this is what is being represented in the November energy, right? What is going on in Donald Trump's future? Donald Trump defeated the Biden administration by defeating Kamala Harris in the 2024 presidential election. Now, it's being followed by behind the scene, which is the Leo card, and it's showing a Black Panther in the snowy realm. Now, everybody knows that when you see a Black Panther in a snowy realm, that means out of place, right? A Black Panther belongs in a jungle. It does not belong on a mountain range, especially one with snow on it, because that is not attuned to its environment, attuned to its atmosphere. And you have this sun with a black dot in it. It's the eclipse, right? And you see the stars. And all I'm seeing here is Kamala Harris's concession speech where she said, "Look to the stars, follow the stars." Now, if anybody knows anything about history, it's me. And back then, the name just left me. But back in the olden days, I'll probably say about the 1860s. Yeah, 1860s. You know, during that time period, they had the inner railroad tunnel. And they would follow the stars. The slaves from the south would follow the stars, and they wrecked them. They say, just follow the stars, you head north. That's what you got to know. That is what she's saying. That's how I knew the election was not over. You included my gut. It was not over because she said follow the stars. Now you have a Black Panther here who is clearly following the stars on a mountain range and where it does not belong. This is what's going behind the scene during an eclipse. Now, I don't know if they're currently ongoing with an eclipse or if we have an eclipse currently ongoing, but it is telling me an astrological event is currently taking place when this is currently happening. And we have a lot of astrological events currently happening and coincided with very important days in the United States over the next couple of months. So I'm not surprised that this is showing up in a November reading. Now, this is also showing here that because of the defeat of President Biden out in the open in the administration here and behind the scenes being the Leo card, what this is telling me is something that happened in August is going to be a repeat. So it feels like to me that what happened in August, Kamala Harris was leading, right? She took the lead. She was leading over Donald Trump. The enthusiasm, the momentum was there. And what it is telling me here that the momentum is just going to keep climbing. Pressure on the Democrats is just going to keep climbing to really look at what is currently going on and to really understand what happened. And we do have here, I can't stop noticing here, the lavender. I don't know why. There's a lavender here. And it's telling me here calmness. So I wonder if there's a sensation here of a calmness before the storm. And that might be what we're indicating here. Now we do have another flip coin to this card. And it's telling me the Black Panther is also represented by Donald Trump. And Donald Trump is represented as a Black Panther on a mountain because he does not belong where he is. Because he defeated the president, the current incumbency party, and he is being represented by the Leo card, and it's telling me here that he's out of place. So for those of you guys who felt like something is wrong, something doesn't fit, something doesn't make sense, this is the key indicator. The sensation, the energy around Donald Trump, he does not belong where he was or where he was put into. That is why the energy is so prevalent among many demographics, many groups. A lot of people I even talk to out in the open who don't know I'm psychic and what I do. And they're like, I just feel weird. Like what happened just wasn't real. And a lot of people do not believe what they saw. And there's a lot of connotation here because it's telling you here something is out of place. You don't find a Black Panther in the mountain. And when you do, let me know. But as of right now, no Black Panther is found in the mountain ranges. At least not in a non-tropical mountain range. Let's go with that. Okay, so now let's look at the month of December. That's a lot more astrological activity than before. Now, this is when Mercury retrograde stations. And we do have a Mercury retrograde stationing before Thanksgiving, which could be why the cards are coming in. Now we do have here the month of December. Interesting. So we have here holding on to power, right? We have the Four of Pentacles being reversed alongside the same card as the King of Cups. And that is the month of December. Now, the month of December is telling me here out in the open, we're going to see somebody trying to hold on to power and something not going according to plan. Now, this is also telling me as well that something is not going to push to take away what something is holding on to. So it feels like there's like this dynamic where this person, this entity, I don't even know who it is holding on to what they want, while the other opposing side is saying, you can have it. It feels a little strange, right? Because why is one side saying, you can have it, that's fine, just take it, that's fine. And the other one's like, I want it. But it almost feels like, it feels weird. It feels like, in a way, it's like, okay, here's the best way to describe what I'm seeing here. It feels like an animatronic. It feels like an animatronic is what I'm seeing. It feels like an animatronic that is malfunctioning. It's like when an animatronic is doing stuff on repetitive motion time and time and time and time again, it starts to break down rapidly. Sparks starts flying, it starts breaking, it starts malfunctioning, it starts saying things it shouldn't be saying. That is what I'm seeing. That's the best, actually, the best representation, the metaphor that I could use to really accurately describe the Four of Pentacles. It almost feels like the Republicans want so much power, but then the Democrats are willing to give it away because the Democrats, for some reason, know that, hey, listen, you know what? You can have it. It almost feels like the Democratic Party knows something. They're like, you know what? We'll screw you over. You can take it. Take it. I know I get it back. You could take it. It's almost like you give clothes, right? You know, you give your clothes to somebody and you know they're not going to use it, right? You know they're not going to use it. So you wait and you wait and wait. You give it to them as a birthday gift. You know they never used it, they didn't even touch it, they didn't even open it out of package. Then one day they give it back to you and you're like, it was an investment, but yet again, it came back when the time was right. And that's kind of like the energy for the Democratic Party here. It's like they know it's going to come back. Like they're patient. There's some reason they know something that the Republican Party does, and the Republican Party is panicking because they don't know what the Democratic Party knows. And therefore, they're like, I want to hold on. While the Democratic Party is like, have it. Have it. It's fine. It's fine. Like, it's completely fine with me. We think this election is secure. Nothing shady happened. Nothing. It's almost, it drives the Republican Party nuts because they can't understand what the Democratic Party knows. Now, that's probably like the best way to really do it. Now, the card that is being represented behind the scene for the December month is the Ace of Cups. And the Ace of Cups is very interesting because we have a bison in the background. And the bison, to me, is telling me is that there are horns. You got to grab it by the horns. It's actually interesting because I talked about horns in the previous video. Got to grab it by the horns. And it feels like there is some sort of being pulling down. Because when you have a bison, right, and you grab the horns, he's going to throw you in multiple directions. But when you have many people holding down the horns of a bison or a bull, which I think is considered a bison, don't really know. But if you're holding it down, when there's enough pressure, enough force holding the bison down, it cannot move. It can't even lift its head up. And that's what the Ace of Cups is telling me, that there's pressure, enormous pressure being weighed down on this person, and particularly two people, because there's two bisons here, which means that two entities, two beings are having their energy being weighed down. People are pressuring them. The pressure is increasing. And then you see this little guy in the background, just calmly, just very calm, like he's just cooking, sitting down, chilling, having a cup of coffee. You know, it's very interesting because right when I started focusing on that guy, the energy just calmed, like it literally just went calm. Because the last beginning of the video was just all chaotic and just excitement and just full of energy. This one, he just showed calmness, relax, peacefulness, no chaotic, just in the moment. It feels like, for me, that behind the scene, there's a sensation of calmness, peace, understanding. And then there's that behind the scenes, even further behind the scenes, where you have this bison and you have high pressure, something being weighed down to prevent something from going in or from something from having power. And that is what it's saying here. That there's calmness, there's peace. I'm gonna be cooking. It feels like that this bison just can't focus. And I don't know if that's a connotation to Donald Trump. I don't know if that's the Democratic Party, but nonetheless, they are cooking up something. They are cooking up something, right? Something coming in the month of December. Now we don't know exactly what it is because it didn't get released yet. Now this is for the Donald Trump pass. Actually, not honestly, I'm reading that for both because I've seen it for both cards here. So the fact that it's coming up for Donald Trump and now Donald Trump is the bison, I don't know how I forgot that I was reading it. I was so attuned. The bison card here is telling me that weighing down is Donald Trump. There's something weighing down Donald Trump because you have this blue guy here, and it's the Kamala Harris, it's the Democratic Party, calmness. But it feels like, I feel like, and I thought this last night because I had this sensation. I said this on my channel at one point that it feels like Kamala Harris wins, and she says, "Screw this." She screwed us. It almost feels like she declared the winner. Then Biden, who doesn't want to take over, well, he might, but people are not gonna be happy about that. But there's a young male energy, and I wonder if maybe Kamala Harris is like, America chose me, but it doesn't deserve me. It's what she's feeling. It feels like she is happy to accept the win, but it almost feels like she knows that America does not deserve what she has to offer and the goodness that she could bring. That is what is being represented in the Ace of Cups here for Donald Trump. Now it makes sense now, everything I just said with the Donald Trump thing. For some reason, I got it so in my head that I was just reading it. I just didn't realize I was on the topic of Donald Trump. Now, let's take a look in the month of January. Now, this is a very important month because that's Inauguration Day, Inauguration Month. Ooh, okay. Okay, so this is interesting. We have the Ace of Cups here represented in the month of January. In the month of January means removing or a change in leadership. Now, a lot of you guys who have been with me, this is the card, and when I say that, I'm also explaining to you new incumbents. The Ace of Swords here for me means defeating the incumbent. The incumbent is the crown here, and this is somebody coming in and jabbing the sword in, saying, "You're done, my turn." That's what this card is represented. It's represented a change in power, a change in transition. This card is reversed. And what this card is telling me in the month of December, the month of December going into January, there's something that happens. Like we have here, he doesn't really actually defeat the incumbent president, but that's what it appears out in the open. Then you have him holding on to power, like freaking out, having like some sort of animatronic type behavior. And then in the month of January, going in from the late December into early January, we have the Ace of Swords, which is telling me that there is a shift. There's a change here that happened in December that led to the change in Ace of Swords reversed in January. And I wonder if that is telling me here that there's something big that happened in the month of December that changed the outcome in January. Because the Ace of Cards is reversed, what tells me he did not defeat the incumbent. He did not defeat the incumbent. And so that is what we see in the open, which means that the fact that it's in the open, which means we're going to be revealed. Something is going to be revealed. Now the question is, are the Democrats going to go about it? According to the cards, it says right now they are. But behind the scenes, they're making it look as if they're not. So we will see if they will respond. Now, behind the scenes here for Donald Trump's future, what's going on behind the scene? You have Cock Industry. Now, I have a feeling I really mispronounced that very terribly, but I'm just going to say it. We have the Ace of Cups here. Now, this card is reversed. Now, this is very interesting. We have a red table, and the red table is symbolized to me the Donald Trump administration. This card is reversed. It's telling me that nothing went according to plan in the month of January. So behind the scenes, something didn't go according to plan. They did a mishap or a misstep that didn't allow Donald Trump to take power. So something is going on here in the month of January. There's some sort of shakeup. Something is happening with the Eight of Cups that's telling me that there's something changing, a new revelation new information. Um, it is telling me here that it almost feel like they were blindsided. It was so focused on getting to one thing, they weren't focusing on how to maintain it, if that makes sense. Now, the month of February, going in towards the end of January, going into the month of February, well, we have here. Ooh, okay, so I wonder, because it feels like this to me. It feels like Ace of Swords. It's very possible that he could be inaugurated on January 20th. There's something happened and he's done in the month of February. Because we have here in the month of February here, we have the Page of Pentacles. And the Page of Pentacles here is telling me um, there's like money. There's something involved with money with Donald Trump and Donald Trump's future. Something goes on here, some sort of revelation, some reveal. So I wonder if this means that Donald Trump defeats the Biden administration in November. He tried to hold on, had some trying to freak out in December. Something gets revealed in Ace of Swords in December and January because of what happened in December. And then you have the Page of Pentacles in February, which is also revealed. And it means like something with money, something involved in money, but also an opportunity, a new hope, a new future is being upon them. Now, going behind the scenes here for that card that represented here, it's an employment services, the two of coins, people online. So behind the scene, it almost feels like there is a change, something that gets revealed and he's forced out. And we have the unemployment services or employment services. The word is employment here, waiting online. So it feels like, it's theoretically possible that Donald Trump could be inaugurated. Then come February, new information is revealed and someone getting employed, and he's not. So that's interesting. Yeah, I'm gonna try to put this to the side here and see if I can get the Kamala Harris reading and kind of do like a side-by-side comparison to see if, okay, what are we seeing? Are we seeing a full picture here? Are we getting bits and pieces? So I'm just gonna shuffle the cards and then we will start Kamala. Okay, so we're gonna do Kamala Harris's future. So I got that this deck is going to be the reverse. The same setup that we did for the previous reading, we are going to do for this as well. So the fact that Donald Trump had this tarot deck as behind the scene, Kamala Harris will have it at what we've seen in the front, and then we'll have the Rider-Waite tarot be what is behind the scenes. A complete reversal. So Spirit Angels tell me for Kamala Harris, the Madam Vice President of the United States, what is her future over the next 4 months from now until the month of February? What is the energy? What is Kamala Harris's future? Give me 4 cards, please. 1 card that represents each month. Okay. And 1 card that represents the month of February for Kamala Harris's future. 1 card. Can you tell me to flip the deck? What is 1 card that represents Kamala Harris's future? Okay. Okay. Spirit Angel, tell me what is going behind the scene for Kamala Harris's future over the next 4 months from now until the month of February. Give me 4 cards, please, that represent Kamala Harris's future. Okay, so I got these 2 cards come in. Okay. All right, so a lot of information, so just hang tight. I will do my best to explain everything. If you have any questions, feel free to ask me. I will certainly help you. Okay, so we have for Kamala Harris's future is what do we see out in the open? Defeat. Now, I do apologize because this is a little bit of a gory card. We have the 10 of Swords here, but it's reversed. It's reversed. And what does that tell me in the open? That what we saw wasn't a real defeat. The concession speech wasn't a real concession. It was almost like a facade. And that is what is being shown here. And it's telling me here, when it comes to Kamala Harris's future, because this is what we see in the open, this is what we see behind the scenes. This is what we don't see, and this is what's going on behind the scenes here. So the fact that we have the 10 of swords reversed telling me that there is no defeat. There's a lack of defeat. But behind the scenes for that card, was it being represented by the 10 of swords? I mean, excuse me, the 10 of wands. Was it upright? Reversal, the 10 of swords reversed. It's telling me that there's this connotation of a struggle, hardship. Really got to push. You got to give it your all if you really want what you want and you want to help the country. You really can't give up. This is not the time to give up. And this is what the month of November is telling me here. It's telling me that because the 10 of swords is reversed, she did not really get defeated. The 10 of wands is telling me there's going to be a push. She has to keep fighting. She can't give up. She really cannot give up. If she gives up, it's over. She cannot give up. Now, what is the next thing that we see for the month of December for Kamala Harris's future? We have a Scorpio, wide open a Scorpio, and then we have this rat. Now, the rat, and then we have this weird tropical lily, and then we have news. Russia probe turns spotlight on Kushner. Interesting. Okay, so take a look. Yeah, it says Russia probe turns spotlight on Kushner. We have a dirty rat, we have a Scorpio singer, and we have a lily. What I believe, by the way, I think that lily might be toxic. But don't quote me on that, because even though I'm a plant daddy, I know nothing about that plant. So don't know. Anything tropical most of the time, definitely, but we'll see. Now, the fact that this card is reversed, which is telling me this is the month of October. Because October and November is those two key months that you really need to look out for. Sorry, I thought someone was outside. So the month of October and November is the two most important months for that because it's reverse. It's reverse, right? Scorpio is going into Sagittarius, but we do have an overlap of Scorpio going into Sag, which means that there is an overlap of Scorpio in the month of November. I'm going to be right back. Give me one moment. I'm going to see when Scorpio ends or when Sagittarius starts. Okay, so it just got revelation here. It's November 22nd. It's when Sagittarius, when everything in the earth goes into Sagittarius energy, the astrology wise. The fact that this is telling me here that, okay, so this stuff is going to be hidden until then. There are going to be things behind the scene. And then, once we hit Sagittarius energy, full mode, full energy, something's going to happen. Energy going to get released. Something in terms of combustion wise is going to be released. I don't know if it's going to be on that specific day, but the energy around that is something that is explosive. Doesn't have to be metaphorically. Now, the fact that the Scorpio card is reversed and it's telling me a stinger and the rat, the sturdy rat, right? People see rats as something dirty and gross, and it goes into the nooks and crevices of everything around it. And, you know, Republicans were trying very hard for the longest time to try to find little loopholes to try and win the election, and by disenfranchising voters. We have the Scorpio card here, and the stinger this month of the Scorpio. The Scorpio might be the best energy for the Republican Party at this time, but there's always a risk. Because when you're near a Scorpio, there is a predator. I mean, when you're near a Scorpio and you're the rat, there's always a predator nearby. There's always something to take out the rat. Always. That is what the Scorpio is telling me. It's telling me here that they are panicking. Because remember how I said that, let's take a look at Donald Trump's future here. This is the card that is being represented here. Now let's take a look. Now we have Donald Trump's future, which is the Four of Pentacles, right? Remember how I was saying that he was animatronic, he was freaking out, like the Democrats were saying, you can have it, you can have it. And he's like, oh my God, I want to hold on to power. And he's just like malfunctioning. The Scorpio card is telling me that here that the predator, every predator knows you do not strike right away, right? You let the rat run around until it gets tired. Then when it gets tired, that's when you strike. That is what is telling me here. That I feel like the Democrats here, their game plan is wait it, then strike. When it gets tired, strike. Because right here, on this card behind the scene, there is this Five of Pentacles. And the Five of Pentacles tells me that there is no longer a loss. There's a lack of struggle. Because in the month of November, there was a major struggle that went on, right? That she had to work for this, and she's pushing forward. Then in the month of December, the struggle is gone, right? And it makes sense too because in Donald Trump's behind the scenes here, you have somebody holding down the bull, and there's the Democratic Party here being calm, relaxed, peaceful, and that's what makes him freak out. And the cards are saying it right here in the same coinciding month as the month of December. So Donald Trump is going to be freaking out massively in the month of December. The Democratic Party is going to be like that. It almost feels like they're just gonna wait it out. They're gonna let him like complain, cry, whatever. Something's happening in the month of December. November is gonna be a very difficult time, but information is gonna get revealed. And then the month of December is telling me here that there's gonna be some sort of freaking out. Like the information, Donald Trump gets told that there's information that's gonna be leaked, but he doesn't know what's gonna be leaked because they probably do so many things that he doesn't know what one's gonna be leaked. And that's probably what freaks him out the most. Now, we do have the month of January, which is hidden here because we don't know what this card is. This is what we see in the open. This is what we see behind the scenes here. Let's take a look and see because we have the Ace of Swords reversed for Donald Trump. Ooh, okay. We have the Devil card in the month of January. This is the Donald Trump card. Right? The Devil card always represents Donald Trump. Right? And I'm seeing specifically white supremacy here. There's something because I'm seeing that fiery cross, that fiery energy, but I'm seeing particularly the cross of fire. And people are getting angry and they're saying that we need to hang and stuff like that. I wonder, because we have the Ace of Swords here reversed, but it's Donald Trump future here and making a new plan because it didn't go according to plan. I wonder in the month of January, what ends up happening is okay. Okay. So I completely forgot. The month of January where January 6th is. And I said it before, back in I think 2021 when I did the tarot card reading, I said whether or not there's gonna be another insurrection or something similar to it. I said yes. Almost 100% definitively, yes. So something's gonna happen from now until before January 6th, and then people get up and wild on January 6th or something around it. The energy is very rampant, it's very high energy, very high intense energy. I said it was going to be specifically Republican led on January 6th. So it's like it's Republican led. So I wonder if information gets released. If we got so many Republicans, then they try to take it back, and there's some sort of battle that goes on the congressional floor to try to save what they could, if you know what I mean. And that could be what the Devil card is here. And that is what we see out in the open. It's right in the open, baby. It is right here, right in the open. And you have this dead flower. This is the flower of death, if you have not seen that, the flower of death. Now, what we see behind the scenes here is fighting, people fighting, right? It almost feels like there's a lot of giving up. It almost feels like Kamala Harris is she's not over. She's not done with this. She's like, That's what I love about Black women because when they have ambition, they have ambition. Okay, they just know what they want and they go and get it. Okay, you know they have ambition when they call you baby girl or baby boy, you know, stuff like that, or sugar. You know that they are legit. They will fight to the very end. And this is no different than Kamala Harris. She will fight till the end. And the Five of Swords here is telling me that there is some sort of fight, there's some sort of battle, because we have here Republicans recircling, but this didn't go according to plan. Something is going to be revealed. Something is happening on Kamala Harris' side in the month of January. I find that to be really interesting. Now, I thought that this would indicate whether or not she would be sworn in the month of January. I feel, because I said this before, I feel like something happened in January, something gets postponed, but because of the everything that's happening in the month of January, someone had to temporarily take over as president and become acting temporary president until whatever's going on is resolved. Now, this could just be congressional. This may not be people actually storming the Capitol, but the idea and concept and the energy still remain. Now, let's take a look at, Donald Trump's month of February and Kamala Harris's month of February. And you have here the fire, right, from the devil's side, right? In the month of February here, we have the fiery card reversed in the month of February. Now, this is what we see. The fire's over, the problem's over, people are over. And, from here, I'm seeing, and even though this is a car and vehicle, it looks like the White House, but it's reversed. It feels like the fight is over in a way, for now. The fight is over for now. But then behind the scenes here, you have from trouble, all the problem that went on these couple of months, she's now moving into calmer water, right? And then you have here the Ace of Wands. And the Ace of Wands here, the Major Arcana card. And the Major Arcana card is telling me there is a transition, that there is a gifting of power or handing over. This is in the month of February. I wonder if we're going to have a president inaugurated in the month of February. I think that's what we need to read on. I think we need to ask in the next video, will we have a president in the month of February be inaugurated? Instead of the inauguration taking place in January, will it be inaugurated in January? Instead of being inaugurated in January, will it be inaugurated in February? I think that's going to be very interesting here. Because again, like I said, when you look at Donald Trump's future here, you have the Page of Pentacles, which is an offer of something, and an employment services, but this is behind the scenes, right? Why is Donald Trump's employment going on behind the scenes when it should be in the public eye? Because the public eye, well, if you're elected, you shouldn't have to be employing for a new job behind the scenes in the month of February. Shouldn't you already have the job in the month of February? Because apparently you're supposed to be sworn in the month of January. But the fact that it's going on behind the scenes, which means that he has to apply for a new job, which means something is going on in the month of January that leads to a new president in the month of February. That was a lot of information. Now, what we're going to do is with the same setup, I'm going to move everything over. We're going to have the Donald Trump thing, Kamala Harris, and we're going to have America's future. And we're going to see all the pictures, try to understand the full story, and see if maybe we can get more information out of that. So be back momentarily. Okay, so now we're going to cover on America's future, and we're going to compare it to Kamala Harris's future and Donald Trump's future to see if we can grab the better and bigger picture and understand about what to expect over the next couple of months. Now, what I'm trying to ask my guys right now is this deck right here, is this deck being what's in the open, or is that behind the scenes? So that's what we're exploring right now. So Spirit Angel, tell me, is this deck right here what we're seeing out in the open, or what we're seeing behind the scene when it comes to asking what is America's future? Okay, so this is going to be the card that represents behind the scenes. And right away, it's going to be what is going to be exposed out in the open. So Spirit Angel, tell me, give me 4 cards that represent the United States future, what we see out in the open for the next couple of months. Okay. What's in America's future from now until the month of February for America's future, the next 4 months? What is going to be happening in the next 4 months? Give me 3 cards because we already have the full card for the month of November. Flip it? Okay. What's going on in the month of December, January, and February? What is America's future? Okay. What is going on in the month of January for America's future? What do we see? Okay. What is going on in the month of February? Okay. There's a challenge here. It came up just like this. Okay. And what card is being challenged in the month of February for America's future? Interesting. Okay. I'm gonna have to move everything over. So I feel like everything's way too cluttered. I'm claustrophobic. Okay, just do the best I can do. That's fine. All right, so Spirit Angel, tell me about America's future behind the scene from now until the month of February. What is going on in the month of February and until now? What is going on from now until the month of February of next year for America's future behind the scenes? Okay, what is going behind the scenes Okay, what card is here? Is this December or is this January? December. Is this December or January? December. So there's two cards in the month of December for America's future behind the scenes. Okay. What is going on in the month of January for America's future? Okay. I'll flip it back. What is going on for America's future from now until February? What is going on behind the scenes? Give me two cards. Okay, give me one card behind the scenes for the month of February. Behind the scenes. Okay, there's a lot of stuff here going on in the month of February, so I guess we'll just keep it because it makes sense. Okay, so holy cow is all I'm gonna say. So we have here out in the open for America's future for the next couple of months in the month of November. It's the Fool card. The Fool card. I think that's very self-explanatory. I wouldn't have to explain what the Fool card is symbolizing in this reading because, and hear me out why. Because when you look at this card, what I'm going to show you right now, you'll understand why the Fool card comes out in the month of November. What do you see there? You see the word Trump. You see some woman. Oh, that's not a woman, excuse me. That is somebody preaching at a church. But nonetheless, is still given some ideology here. So it is telling me here in the month of November, they're going to be revealing, oh, Pride of 2025 is legit and stuff like that. The Fool card is telling me that there is a fool in the month of January. People were fooled in the month of January. The fact that the Trump card comes up right coincided the month of November for America's future, because this is what's behind the scene. Behind the scene is telling me Trump, something with Trump out in the open, Americans are fooled, right? There's something going on with Trump that America's seeing something out in the open, but there's something going on with Trump behind the scenes in the month of November. Now, in the month of December, the card that is being shown here is strength, perseverance, going forward, women. Women. The month of December is the women. Women, 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 women. Calmness, peace. Right? What is this lion doing? This lion, what is a lion? A lion is aggressive. It's likely to act on impulse, right? It's act on predator instinct. What is the woman doing? She's caring, she's nurturing the beast. What is America's future in the open, in the public? Well, it's telling me here that, oh, you know, it's telling me that the lion card is being represented as the MAGA wing, right? Because you remember how I said I kept seeing, early in today's reading, I talked about how this was represented by women and this is MAGA and vice versa, and I went through this whole scenario. Now, what this is showing me here, that the lion is solely represented by the Republican and the Democrats are represented by the women. And what is this telling me? It's telling me that there's a false sense of illusion for those Republicans in the month of December. It feels like they're like, oh, we got away with that. We got away with it. Like, it almost feels like the Democrats are fooling the Republicans, if that makes any sense. Because that's what it feels like in the month of December. Because going down and moving on to America's behind the scene in the month of December, let's see if we can grab some more information here. We have the moon card reversed. Something gets revealed. I feel like it's going to happen later on in the month of December because it feels like it's going to be a longer duration. But it could happen early December, mid-December. That could be the placement here. But it looks more so than anything right before Christmas. But could be as early as December. December, like, I feel like 3rd. But we do have the moon card here. That is something gets revealed. I hope we prepare. That's what it's saying. There's no more hope and preparing. We're prepared. So it feels like the month of November is all preparation. The month of December is all action, is what it feels like in America's behind the scene. But you have Earth card here, Beekeeper. The beekeeper is very interesting here. Now, what is the beekeeper? Now, everybody knows the beekeeper is the main person, the main number one person when it comes to farming, because without the bees, there's nothing else can exist. Because in order to pollinate anything on Earth and be able to eat and live and breathe and do all that, you need food, and food is the main source from bees. And so, what is the beekeeper indicating to me? Pyramid. There is a pyramid in the bee system. The bee really is a rejection of the queen. So what it is telling me here that when there is bees coming together and they feel like, oh, that's not my queen, they reject the queen in the month of December because there is some sort of strength, there is some illusion here that false hope prepared. Because we said here in the moon card, it's given because when you look at the Latin the Latin name here says, "I hope we prepare." The Earth card is telling me here with the beekeeper is telling me that there's a rejection of something. Something is rejected in the month of December, and that projects strength. Now, I'm not sure if I could give me the full month of December. The December month could be showing the strength and hope, and behind the scene there could be a rejection of a queen or a king that happens in the bee colony, right? But the bees always protect their kind. They always protect their colony and they're willing to defend it. So I wonder if that's what that is indicating. That beekeeper is indicating what is to be expected going into the month of January. Because we have that moon card, right? We prepare. I hope we prepare, right? Kind of like similar like that. The moon card. The moon card, because the two cards that came out in the month of December behind the scene, this energy comes first. This energy follows. This might be the energy towards the end of December, going into early January, which would explain why when you see and compare Donald Trump, you have the Ace of Swords reversed. We have reevaluating your plan here. You have the Devil card for Kamala Harris's what is being seen in the month of January. Then you have fighting going on behind the scene, right? This is indicating a larger story here. It's indicating a very big story that's going to take place, and it's all going to be happening right smack in the middle of mid-December. Now, we also have that Scorpio card, and the Scorpio card is telling me that the predator does not strike. They're going to let them run around as much as you can, tire them out, then that's when they strike. So expect it to be in the later days of December. It's really where I'm expecting the news to really come out is later in the month of December, from mid-December, kind of towards the end of December, going into early New Year. Expect that to be when the information comes out, when they least expect it, because the predator always attacks when the opposition or the prey is tired. Now, going into the month of January for America's Future card, we have the Three of Wands. Now, the Three of Cards, not Three of Cards. The Three of Wands here is being represented by election night. This has always been my card that represented election night since 2020, and it has not changed today. The election night is telling me here in the month of January, there's something goes on about the election that is revealed in the middle of December or late December, and something goes on in the month of January which upsets a lot of people. Because in behind the scene here, let's take a look. We have water, right? It's interesting because we have a lot of earthy energy here in this reading. We have a lot of earthy energy in Kamala Harris's reading, but not any really earthy energy in Donald Trump's reading, because that's for the first 2 months. Kamala Harris is in the last 2 months, and then for Earth and for America's Future, it's the last 3 months. So this would be December, January, February. Right now we're in the month of January for America's Future. And America's Future is showing water. Water. Right? Now, what are you seeing ahead of you? A building on fire, an oil rig, right? Oil, greasy, right? You have this bird, you have garbage, you have debris. It's reverse. And the fact that this is telling me behind the scene is that it's telling me that what we just saw and what we witnessed in the later days of December going to middle of January, or even towards full of January really, is that it's telling me that something information that's behind the scene gets publicly released and causes chaos in the month of December and early into January. Because we have the tower card here, you have the oil rigs. It's reversed. What represents the oil rig? The Republican Party, because they love oil, they love that type of situation. They get a lot of money from big corporate donors within the oil industry. The fact that this card is shown up here is telling me there is a lack of mixture because oil and water cannot mix together no matter how much you try to combine them. But when you do combine them and you combine oil, I like olive oil, I think, and water, you make lotion. What is lotion good for? It's good for your skin. Now, lotion smoothes out everything. I wonder if that is indicating that there's going to be a little bit of a rough transition period in the month of January. January could be a very rough, highly rough texture that we're going to have to undergo and experience over the course of the next couple of weeks, going into the next couple of months. This is something that's going to be talked about for years on end because of what took place from now until February. Now, we haven't looked any beyond that. I'm sure there's a lot more historical events that are going to take place. But let's just take a look at the first 4 months because that's going to be very important here. Well, we do have a lot of, chaos happening. I wonder if the election day is showing up again in the month of January. I wonder if there's a recall or there is a recount or there's a redo of the election and people have to go and vote in the month of January. I wonder if that is what's happening because that could be creating the chaos that we're seeing. It could be creating the chaos here. Could it be like, okay, well, we take the election and it wasn't real and it was all a facade and we don't really know the result because they threw out the ballots or whatever. Let's do a redo. I would not be surprised if the United States of America does a redo election of the 2024 election, but it's really considered the election of 2025. And I wonder if maybe we're reading on the election incorrectly because we're asking the question, will Kamala Harris be the next president? It's going to give you a yes. When you say, will Donald Trump be elected president? It's going to give you a yes. Very two different wordings, but they're very drastically different responses. And I wonder if because the election in 2024 takes place in 2024, it gives it a Donald Trump victory. But when you ask the question, maybe, will Kamala Harris win the election in 2025? It might give you a yes. Now, that is something that just took place now, according to the cards. I never did a reading on it. So I don't even know if he's going to give me Kamala Harris as the winner here. We don't really know. But I'm just saying that there's a theoretically possible scenario where there could be a redo election that takes place in January. I would not be surprised if that is one of our outcomes. Now, not to mention, on January 3rd, we have Congress get sworn into the House of Representatives and the U.S. Senate, and they have to certify the Electoral College 3 days later on January 6th. The fact that number 3 is also indicated here on election day, there might be some objection to the Electoral College result. There could be some outcomes on how this may play out. Now, let's move on into the month of February. This card that's being challenged in the open is challenging the later days of January going into early February. And this card that represented here is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 of swords. It almost feels like to me it's liberty. Something is being restricted when it comes to liberty. I'm seeing like Statue of Liberty being tied up and held down and she just can't move. The fact that it's going underneath the 3 of swords here, but above the 6 of pentacles, is telling me that there is this transitional period of uncertainty, unknown, fearfulness. What the hell just happened? It's the energy is what is going on. Because underneath that in the month of February, excuse me. Okay, in the month of February, we have the 6 of Pentacles. And the 6 of Pentacles is a transitional period. We have this person who won the election and is being given to the Republican. That is being challenged by this. This is being challenged. I wonder if there's a challenge here that is going to take place. I feel like this might be dragging out more than 4 months. I really do. I just feel like this is like a constitutional crisis type level scenario because I don't think that they could account for this much damage to occur. You're looking at like America's future here with the 6 of Pentacles here, and you have the Ace of Wands going behind the scene. Kamala Harris being declared the victor here, moving out of troubled water. The White House no longer being on fire, or the country as a whole really for Kamala Harris is in the future. I wonder if this means that the Six of Pentacles is telling me to hear that she is restored as the rightful winner, right? And that is being challenged by here is liberty, right? Something with liberty is being challenged because she has to be sworn in, but it almost feels like a lot of people feel like, specifically the people who are celebrating right now, feel like it was taken from them. And we have here in Donald Trump's thing, Page of Pentacles, in the month of February, with the employment services behind the scene, which tells me he is out of office. Kamala Harris goes in, but then everything here, it's a whole crap show is really what it is. But we have that card being challenged by the election day results, the certification. They put Kamala Harris in behind the scene, something gets revealed and out in the open, something that was behind the scene that was going onward in the month of December gets released in the month of December. And it all relates to what happened in the month of November with Donald Trump's presidential election. Now, we do have here behind the scene with the Six of Pentacles here, right? Get a wooden win and a rightful place in power. You have behind the scene, you have the Knight of Cups. Okay, this is interesting, doing drugs. I guess that is what the cards are showing here. Doing drugs is reversed. People are no longer celebrating. I guess when people do drugs, they celebrate. So I guess we'll do that. The Knight of Cups are here. We have here reversed Queen of Wands, Harry Potter, right? She's saying anti-trans rights, stuff like that. You know, magic. And then that card is also reversed. And then you have the Four of Wands. Now, the Four of Wands is women. Women coming together, people coming together, uniting, protest. This card is reversed. It tells me that America is going to be in a heightened state of protest, rioting, just uncertainty, for like almost like for sure uncertainty. But with the Knight of Cups here reversed, there's a lack of celebration. There's the Queen of Wands. Was it telling me here that this woman who comes in is not it's giving me Nancy Pelosi's energy from this woman, but it's also not. It feels weird because it feels like this person's unknown. This individual is unknown. But she is famous, but if she okay, I feel like okay, this makes sense now. There might be a revelation here that shows that, hey, listen, that this woman might be the mastermind behind this whole event. And I think that that might be what shocked the nation is the fact that not what Donald Trump did, but because why this woman did what she did, knowing full well that she was doing it against her own interests. I think that is what makes people so confused because they couldn't wrap their head around the idea why would women do this to another woman? Why would they not stand up for one another? Then you have here the Four of Wands reversed. There's an end of something. Something ends. What is the ending in the month of February? What ends in the month of February behind the scene? So this means that Kamala Harris is now president of the United States. Okay, we got clarification, got two cards here. We have here the Four of Coins, no longer walking away from the veterans or the military. And then you have here the Two of Swords, the boogeyman. The boogeyman, the Two of Swords. Uncertainty. You see this random dude in the background. And then I think it looks like that person's holding the gun. Yeah, that person's holding the gun. And you have this boogeyman in the background. Someone's scared. But there's this Four of Coins here reverse. And it's the military. They ignore the military. But there's not military here. So I don't understand what is going on in the month of January. I mean, the month of February. What's the bottom of the deck? What's going on? We have the Knight of Coins. Wheel of Fortune. Well, it's not really a Wheel of Fortune, but in this aspect, high risk, high reward. So it feels like to me that Kamala Harris does become president, but it's gonna be a tough road ahead. Because on the bottom of this tower deck, we have the Moon card. Hidden. So what happened from now until then is hidden. Things are gonna change. I feel like what we see now in the trading might change. It's not set in stone. It depends on how hard she's willing to fight for it. That's what we mean. There's no better person willing to fight for something than a black woman with ambition. And let me tell you, she got ambition. All right, guys. I hope you guys liked this video. I apologize for it being so long. I just really want to give you a highly detailed, intuitive storyline. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. But don't forget to give this video a like, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye.